The wildlife conservationist from Malaysia, who was a participant of the recently concluded Global Wildlife Program Conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, claps hands for the development looks of the city, pertaining his in-person witness. Kamarul Ikram Halim, a Principal Assistant Secretary of Forestry Management Section in the Biodiversity and Forestry Management Division of Malaysia, said the infrastructure that he saw in Addis Ababa is quite high in standard when he conducted an exclusive interview with Addis Media Network.
The infra is quite a high standard. If you sit around the facilities, how the buildings and all the pavement, you can see that it is very, very well built and very organized. And the one thing that I noticed is the cleanliness. You can see the streets and the walkway or the corridor. They are very, very clean, and I love it. And I think it is very, very good. I hope this can be maintained, and it's quite surprising because it is a very, very well built and clean.
Halim stated, in contrast to his experience to other African nations which he formerly visited, Ethiopia in general and Addis Ababa in particular are very rapidly developing. As to him, if the nation maintains its track, it will be the most dynamic country to grow fast.
I was very surprised with the infrastructure and the roads and how the buildings are built. I mean, I've been to other African country before, and I think Ethiopia in general are very rapidly developing, and I think it has a lot of potential. In the future, I think Ethiopia will be one of the very dynamic and fastly growing countries. And in particular, in Addis Ababa, is an amazing city. I love the food because I went to a cafe yesterday and the food is amazing, and I think especially the coffee is the most amazing. I cannot take I usually don't take coffee, but today I already took two. so it is quite unusual for me.
Mentioning the wildlife conservation experience of Malaysia, the Principal Assistant Secretary revealed people living close to the protected areas do benefit from lots of packages that the government offers to them.
People living close to protected areas, for example, if we can call it indigenous people, for example, they benefit a lot in the activities that the government or the NGOs or any international organization are working on, because we do give them incentives. For example, they get to be employed as the rangers, for example. So they do the monitoring, they do the surveying, they do the enforcement activities. So it is eventually benefit a lot of parties. For example, the government and the indigenous people or people living in the area as well, because we enrich their area and they help us in protecting this area and the biodiversity and ecosystems that is in their own neighborhood or in their own areas.
Moreover, as to Halim, there are lots of additional activities like education that the government of Malaysia engages the indigenous people close to the protected areas where the wildlife of the nation thrives.
We also have other activities that always involve this group, because any initiatives or program done by the government, we always take into consideration their involvement. For example, the education and public awareness program, we give or we share the information with them, and later they can educate their people about the awareness on protecting biodiversity and protecting environment.
The Malaysian wildlife conservationist added the global conference was very significant for sharing experiences and knowledge as well as expertise in the field of forestry management at large.